to save his life. A lot of us know that in secondary schools, bullying go on. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. But at the same time, while we are being angry, we should be looking for logical, we should be taking logical actions towards answering some of these unanswered questions. Has Dowen College done well in terms of communication since this incident happened? Definitely not. I was quite upset at them, to be frank with you. I'm like, why aren't they talking to us? Why aren't they telling people what they are doing? Until I found out that, they've been asked not to communicate further so as not to hamper with ongoing investigations. Okay, if that's the case, then who is doing this investigation? Someone definitely needs to speak to us. And then even we that are on social media shouting, I also believe that we should respect the parents enough to allow them to strategies on how to ensure that Sylvester gets real justice based on the truth. I can't tell you that I understand what his family is going through right now. No parent should lose a child to education. And indeed, no child's life should be cut short, most importantly, simply because they were trying to get an education from a school. I went to a boarding school myself. I was a first-hand victim of bullying. In fact, I ended up in the hospital my first night in boarding school. But at least God spared my life. And I lived. I'm here today to tell the story. Right, so while we are angry for someone like me, the focus should be what exactly happened to Sylvester. What could have been done differently to save his life? I've barely slept, and I've been on a series of phone calls with regards to this issue about the unfortunate tragic death of little Sylvester. And so, I've also been accused a few times of silence and things like that. And so this morning I woke up and got dressed to go to church. Then I told myself my own church service is going to be right here. Someone needs to say some things that are not being said. I understand the outrage, concerning the death of little Sylvester, especially since there are so many unanswered questions since this incident. But unfortunately, unlike people who can afford to sit on the outside and, make comments and post on social media, I don't have that luxury. I have a responsibility to make informed comments, investigate, and even suggest strategies on how to ensure that Sylvester grieve as far as their emotions take them. Because neither you or I, who only heard about Sylvester on social media, would love Sylvester or would understand what the parents are going through as much as his biological family. And even, none of us actually will feel the pain as much as his immediate community in Dowen. He must have had friends and teachers who were fond of him, who have been blown by this situation. And that's why when I'm getting angry with Dowen's silence, I'm also understanding that there's no perfect way to handle a situation that you did not plan for. It's not like Dowen sat down there and planned that they should lose a student at this point. They are grieving themselves. So maybe that is why their actions may not seem coherent to us, besides the fact that those of us that are asking questions behind the scenes in real life understand that there are certain things that they cannot do right now so that they don't hamper ongoing investigations. Yes, Dowen hasn't done well in terms of communication, but does that mean that we should kill Dowen, so to speak, because of this incident? A school that has been in existence for over 2 decades and has produced graduates in different fields and excellence. If it was such a bad school, come on, don't you think that it wouldn't have taken this long for this kind of thing to happen? Right? How about the good that the school has done in the past? Do we forget it all of a sudden because one unfortunate incident happened to them? Let's be thinking while we are taking our actions. Little Sylvester has had 4 other siblings pass through Dowen. If it was such a terrible school, do you think the father would have taken a second child there after the first? So for me, while people say, there was a comment on my page that said, do the logical thing that every celebrity would do, call out Dowen. I'm not a celebrity. I'm a young, hardworking entrepreneur who's a mother of 24 children and then an activist for justice where I can. So when there's a situation where instead of Instead of running with the crowd and just posting things, inside me, I want to know why. This tragedy has already happened. Are we going to make it up with a second tragedy? Shouldn't we focus our energies on actually getting the true cause of little Sylvester's death, so that we can put things in place to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't occur again, either in boarding schools, in our secondary schools, or in families, or whatever, or our healthcare system? I don't know which one to call. Look, I have lost a child. I have also lost an elder sister. So I can give you firsthand, like I've experienced firsthand what the pain of losing a loved one is. When I lost my elder sister, I had to end up going for psychiatric help. Literally, before I could go on with my life. Those that know me would understand what I'm saying. And then when I lost my son at my orphanage that had cerebral palsy, there are no good memories to go back to. I remember running out of the hospital that day, half naked, with my house coat open, running on the streets of Lagos before my friends forced me into the car and took me back home. So I'm saying that there's a family that is in real pain somewhere in Warri or in Lagos, while blogs are out here putting out fake stories, putting out fake love. There are individuals posting things as clickbaits, giving false narratives just so that you can draw traffic and distract people from the real cause that we should be chasing, which is justice for a 12-year-old boy whose life was cut short for reasons that we do not yet know. Because whether you like it or not, your hashtag justice for Sylvester is useless until we can answer certain logical questions. What exactly happened to Sylvester? Okay, the school has said that in fact, if God wants to begin to punish some of you people that are posting on social media, I saw a post where somebody said, someone got a message that Sylvester was beaten on the 27th. From my findings, Sylvester was already at home by the 27th. You people, stop this. Not everything is for clout. Not everything is for clout, for God's sake. The school is saying that, okay, Sylvester fell down during a football match, while the father is saying that his son said on his dying bed that he never played football. Fine, Lagos State government, swing into action. If the school says Sylvester played football, he couldn't have been playing football alone. They should provide children who were on the football pitch with Sylvester playing football that day. Surely there must have been a child who spotted Sylvester to the ground, doing the football match. Someone must have escorted Sylvester to the sick bay on that Saturday or Sunday or whatever day it was after that incident. Let's begin to know what we are ticking off as lies, as emotional statements, and as facts. Instead of just running justice for Sylvester, kill Dowen, kill everybody, talk. What are you saying without facts? What has Lagos State government done? This is 2021 in the 21st century. Why do we still not have an autopsy report from like 3 pathologists? Why are we still saying, oh, maybe he was given a chemical to drink, maybe he was beaten? This thing is more serious than all of you are thinking. This is a life. And if there are potential bullies who would have done this, then we need to know on time so that we can call them to book and actions can be taken. If the boy passed on due to something else, we need to know what it was. Could it be negligence? I mean, he left school more than 6 days or about 6 days before he passed away. What could have happened in the course of those 6 days? There's even a story that says that Sylvester left school on Tuesday with his guardian and came back on Thursday to move his things from school to go back to Warri. Surely if he was in such a bad state, he won't be coming back to school on Thursday to move his things. Surely if I'm the guardian and I go to a school to pick my ward and he was in such a bad state like the one that I saw in that video, I won't take the boy. The outrage would have been out on the internet long before his death. I would tear the school. I will scatter the school. Look, one of the twins in my orphanage came back from school one day with cane wounds all over his body. I tied bed sheets for her, then entered the school. It was cane wounds, but I had to go and ask who was beating up a 7-year-old to the extent of leaving marks on his body. Did he steal your girlfriend or your wife? So it won't take till the boy dies before this outrage will come out if he was in such a state at the time the guardian picked him up from school. Let's ask questions. Lagos State government, we need answers. Order an immediate autopsy